So Konami have released a pack with Rijkaard and Matthaus, two players that are quite strong in this game for me, particularly Matthaus, but this one is a whole player. So at first, I was a bit worried about this Matthaus as a whole player. I think it might have been a waste because I think he is best as a box to box. But once I looked at his builds, I actually think this guy looks really good. So I have two builds for Matthaus. One that you're looking at is like his AMF center mid build, and then one is a more defensive focus. So if we just take off all the boosts for a sec, we're going to get an extra +1 on his lofted pass, his finishing, his dribbling, and his acceleration and balance. So any stat at 84, if you use an 89 proficiency manager in game, you'll get a +3 at that 84 level. But eFootball Hub hasn't updated it yet. So this is what his card will look like. So I'll have 87 dribbling, 87 finishing, 90 acceleration, and then 87 balance too. But look, he's very well rounded. Like, this is exactly what you want in a Matthaus card. The whole player in center mid, it's okay. They will still defend quite a decent amount. You might have to be a little bit more proactive yourself in getting them to track back sometimes. But as an AMF, this card looks very good. But in attacking center mid, it looks perfect. Now, if you wanted to play it just AMF, I wouldn't really recommend it. But if you did want to do it, you would just take off, probably get the defensive stats down to about there, where you're looking at 80 on all of them. And then you can put the rest of the points maybe into get the 90 low pass. And then see if we can get the finishing up a little bit more. Actually, if we rejig this build a tiny bit, by putting a free kick booster on, you can also get the 90 finishing and keep all of your 80 defensive stats. But this old Matthaus is my probably favorite card in the game that's not an attacker, and he's so good. Now, he is a box to box, but if you want to use Matthaus in this role similar to have here, here's the build for that. And you can see it doesn't look too much different. We just invested a bit more into defending and also a bit more into the speed, because speed is very important for how you actually put pressure on your opponents. Like, high speed can carry low defensive stats. Not that this Matthaus has low defensive stats, but it definitely can do a lot of the work. But this guy's still going to be great at dribbling. He's only 173 centimeters. His dribbling stats aren't great. His tight possession is good, to be fair, but his balance is amazing. And if we go to my old version of Matthaus, this guy is one of the best dribblers in the game for me. And look, he's only got 80 on the dribbling stats and then 88 balance. So with this more defensive build on the new Matthaus, I wouldn't have any worries about his dribbling. If we go to his skills, I've got two different sets of skills, one for if you want to play more attacking and one if you want to use them in that more defensive / box to box role. So first off, I would go for cut behind and turn on both builds as well as man marking. So man marking, when you press second man press, the man marking skill means your player is going to run after the ball for a little bit longer. And with his speed and stamina and just his aggression, his overall kind of card, he's definitely someone you want to be persistently chasing your opponent down. Then after that, you can probably go for weighted pass, double touch, and gamesmanship. Or if you want to use them specifically in AMF, take off that weighted pass for flip flap and that gamesmanship for soul control. I guess you could take the man marking off for one of those skills, but at that point, you might as well just be using someone like El Platini or a Baggio in AMF. Like, if you're going to use this guy in AMF, it's because you also like his defensive abilities a little bit. So that's why I'd probably go without the weighted pass on the deeper role for Matthaus. Bombin actually done a great video on possession. It's like 25 minutes long. I watched the whole thing. It was great. I took away a lot from it. But one thing he mentioned, and I never really considered this before, is weighted pass actually can be a detriment if you're playing a really long range pass, because weighted pass puts backspin on the ball. So if you imagine him in DMF and he's trying to play the left wing in behind, when he does a lofted pass and he has the weighted pass skill, because of the backspin, it's going to take longer for the pass to reach a player and it gives more time for the defender to intercept. Now, an AMF weighted pass is still good because the distances aren't as long between you and the person you're passing to. The extra kind of time the ball's going to be in the air from weighted pass isn't going to give the defender enough time to actually intercept, and it will place the ball better. But like Bombin was saying, for the deeper players, weighted pass might be a little bit of a detriment. And then, of course, Matthaus has phenomenal pass, probably one of the best Showtime skills, mainly because it's always active pretty much every time you're going to be passing with them. You will be able to utilize phenomenal pass. It'll basically just do off balance passes for you. But I think Matthaus is a perfect fit for it because he is so fast and nimble. When you're dribbling with him off balance, there might be times where you are off balance and the phenomenal pass will kick in very nicely and be able to play in your teammates very easily. So definitely a very, very good card right there. The next player we'll look at is Donadoni. I have a free version of Donadoni and he is quite decent, to be fair, but more of a utility player. When I'm looking at the build here, I don't know if I'm like building them wrong. I've spent about 10 minutes trying to mess around with it, and I don't know if I can come up with like a build that stands out to me. but I think it might just be that this card is good but not top tier. So I definitely think this is a more utility player. And if you look at his positions, you can kind of see that's what he probably should be. So this guy should be coming off the bench for you. And it's usually when you're already winning and you're just trying to hold on to that lead, but still offer a bit of an attacking threat. Yeah, this is the card. Sorry, have we got any 84s? Yeah, we got lofted pass on 84, so that's going to be an extra +1, and that's the only stat on 84. So it'll look like this, but with 87 lofted pass if you have an 89 proficiency manager. And then if we go to his skills, unfortunately, he doesn't have a showtime skill, but what I'd recommend on him is first time shot, flip flap, and soul control, cut behind turn and Marseille turn. And then if you're going to use him as a super sub, maybe try throw on super sub for one of them. But definitely a utility player, but obviously he's not the reason you're coming for this pack. It's for Matthaus and then this guy here, Frank Rijkaard. So I'll be comparing Rijkaard to two rather of his older versions, and that I think it's worth the upgrade. So I used to use a really old Rijkaard here, this one here at the centre back. So I always think Rijkaard is best as a centre back, and particularly this new one's going to be a destroyer. So I don't like destroyers in VMF. If you like destroyers in VMF, of course you shouldn't really listen to my criticisms here, because a lot of top players do. Like if you look at the leaderboards, a lot of them do have destroyer in DMF. But the way I play, I just can't get on with them. So I'd be preferring to play Rijkaard as a centre back. But regardless, if you're playing him centre back or DMF, I don't think it changes how you build the card really. If we just look at the card, we have 84s on both pass stats, so just put an extra +1 there, and then also with the speed too. So I think this one would be good in DMF. Now, if you want to get a little bit extra juice out of them in centre back, just take the dribbling off a tiny bit and invest the points into goalkeeper 1. You'll just get a little bit more jump height. It's only going to be 0.6 of a centimeter, so you're probably not going to notice it. But again, you probably wouldn't notice the extra point onto dribbling either. And then when we compare him to the old Rijkaards, this is the old Anchorman. So obviously, I would just prefer this Anchorman. It could have even worse stats. Like even if the stats look like this, I'd still prefer it just because of the Anchorman playstyle. And then this is the centre back build up version. And again, like this new Rijkaard is definitely an upgrade on that card, but I don't know if it's a major upgrade. Like the passing stats, he's already got his 80 low pass on this centre back one here, so I think he's fine there. And of course, this one has good passing stats too. This one's arguably a better centre back because he does have more aerial strength. And then, like I'm saying, this one's a better DMF in my opinion because of the Anchorman. So in my eyes, this probably wouldn't be worth the upgrade. If you're someone who doesn't have a Rijkaard, don't worry about it. Like this one will still be very good. But at the end of the day, like I'm always trying to give value for money recommendations. It kind of annoys me when I say like, oh, this player isn't worth the upgrade, and then someone's like, oh, but he has +6 speed. How can you say that's not worth the upgrade? I mean, it's like €100 for +6 speed. Like that just sounds ridiculous to me. Like I'm trying to get across in these videos that you shouldn't spend too often or too much on this game. You should, when you do spend, you spend correctly, and it should last you more than a year each card. Like if you think this new Rijkaard is worth an upgrade compared to this previous version, I think you're spending too much on this game, to be honest. That's why sometimes I might seem a bit hesitant to kind of recommend upgrading on previous versions of cards. For the skills, Rijkaard has Visionary Pass. I don't think it's a bad skill, but I don't think in this area of the pitch is going to be much use. I definitely think Visionary Pass is more for whoever's going to be playing the pass into the striker for a first time shot, or they need to control a difficult pass in the box. So I don't think you should be worrying about this Visionary Pass too much on Rijkaard. Now for his skills, I definitely give him low lofted pass. Whether you play him centre back or DMF, he is going to be trying to spray the ball from deep. Then I'd give him track back if you're going to play him DMF. If you're going to play him centre back, you don't need track back. Then I'd go for gamesmanship on both DMF and centre back, just because he's going to be good on the ball. You're going to dribble with him a lot. Same with cut behind and turn, same principle. And then if you play him centre back, I'd go for acrobatic clearance. I don't think acrobatic clearance is really that important in this game. Definitely back in years ago in PES, you would notice it. I feel like every player can pretty much acrobatic clearance now, with or without the skill. But when you're playing him centre back, you want to cover all your bases. It's too vital of a position on the pitch to kind of leave stuff up to chance. So definitely just be safe and give him acrobatic clearance in centre back. And then other skills, could give him outside curler just for little bits of better passes. They definitely activate more often. Could use heading on him if you're going to send them up for corners. And also, he doesn't have slide tackle. Not that I think slide tackle is a must on your defenders, just because you probably shouldn't be slide tackling too often, but there are going to be instances where you do need to. So I guess you could put slide tackle again just to cover all your bases. But definitely an interesting pack. Matthaus has definitely surprised me. Now, not probably, yeah, I don't think I'm going to upgrade. Again, I don't think it's worth spending that much money on upgrades of cards. But if you don't have previous versions of Rijkaard or Matthaus, I don't think you can go too wrong picking these two up, as long as you understand with yourself that you know, these cards are supposed to last you more than a year and a half, 2 years. Anyway, thanks for watching.